game mode ideas. So, like, I know prop hunt. Let's see what we have here. Game mode ideas. So, like, I know prop. Okay, let's go through these game mode ideas, and then I want to share a few that I've had. Some game mode ideas. Coffee time. Oh my god, that reminds me of an inside joke that I had with someone that the best coffee commercial ever will be Big Show from WWE busting through a wall like the Kool-Aid Man and going, "It's coffee time, bitch!" And then they show like the logo of your coffee, and that's the ad. I realize though, saying it on stream, how derivative it is of just Kool-Aid Man, and then add the Gen X. Is it Gen X or millennial humor? But just add bitch or motherfucker at the end of every sentence, and you have comedy. But then, of course, Big Show, right? And I think the inside joke came from he was on like a back of like a pop cereal box. Chaotic Hell. Killer powers don't have cooldowns. Chaotic Hell. That's the new. Oh, coffee time. Killers and the survivors can stop by coffee pots and drink coffee. Upon drinking coffee, movement speed is. Okay. I feel like coffee time, the idea here should be implemented into something like diner mode. And it's not just coffee, like you could have eggs that make you stronger, right? Pancakes increase gen speed. I don't know, dude. Chaotic Hell. Killer powers don't have cooldowns. Killers with items. With items. Okay. Killers with items will have infinite amounts of their items. I'm sorry, I'm being way too stringent in my literal thinking. I know what he means by items. Oh, I gotta change the title back. I think somebody is in here. Maybe based off of this. Oh, I didn't change the look outside thing. DBD game modes discussion. There we. Huh? Say what? God, it's amazing this game has been out this long, isn't it? Okay. Okay, Chaotic Hell Killer's powers don't have cooldowns. Killers with items will have infinite amounts. Perks for both killers and survivors don't have a cooldown. But what about killers? I guess this mode could be selective with certain killers to play it because items can last forever. I mean, what do you mean that Trapper would have infinite traps? So he could literally just like walk up and down the expanse of an exit gate and just do traps for a minute and then go to the other exit gate and just do traps for a minute. 2v6, 2 killers, 6 survivors. Watch your step. Survivors will be sacrificed as soon as they are hooks. Okay. They're exposed. Okay, I get that. Like it like almost like speed run. Right there. So here's internet proof right there that I didn't come up with just 1v1 or did they mean killer versus killer? I was talking to Wesker earlier and one of the game modes I think would be amazing if you have killer versus killer, but I wouldn't do 1v1, I'd do 3v3 Imagine the combinations, right? Like you could have like a Wesker hinder somebody, and then like the doctor shock them and stun them, and then they run into a trap, and then when they're in the trapper's trap, you just completely mob them. Oh, you know what? Proximity chat would be cool in a game mode. I actually think one of the things that has made DBD as popular as it has been the the lack of a proximity chat. I think that has actually increased the um, popularity of the game, and I think a lot of the reason why is because of the um, if you are a female and you're playing the game, I've noticed a lot of online games, there's a lot of toxicity towards females and a lot of inappropriate behavior just because it's a woman talking. And I think one of the reasons that DBD has a high, as much as it has a high female fan base, is because they don't have to deal with that. But if you made it in a separate game mode, that might actually be really cool because then they just wouldn't have to play that game mode. But then if you're a guy, you can sit here and be toxic and talk trash with proximity chat. I heard someone say in a Slate video the way that he was talking in his, English accent. I think it was South English accent. Like it would be so funny to hear him speaking as Trapper and trying to get someone to get into the trap. He has a video where he's puts a trap at the exit gate when the survivor's about to leave and they insist they go in. So for the lulls, the survivor goes in. Hey guys, it's been a while. I apologize. I want to discuss my game mode ideas. They're just my ideas, what I think could be interesting, and I want to hear what you guys think would be cool. First, I think it'd be cool to have a DBD classic mode. Okay. Oh, okay. Get rid of the glitches, but then have classic. That's kind of, I like that. A mode where instead of gens, you collect special items that are hidden across the map. Okay. Hide and seek. Hide and seek mode, they have that mode. It's called Hide Forever. And honestly, I think most of us can agree that might not necessarily. That being a mode, that's something people don't like anyway, with the minimal exposure that they get. So I think that two modes would be potentially interesting. Would be killer versus killer, like a 3v3, 3K v 3K, and also survivors killing killers. And that was Wesker's idea. And I think what would be cool about that is so at the very origin of DBD, Matthew Cote expressed in an interview, he revealed that they had an idea that maybe you could do certain things and kill the killer. They scrapped the idea because they realized that's all that people would do, and it would get in the way of their intention of the original concept of the game. Now, going all the way back to when the game was formed, that idea could become a game mode. I think it would be exciting to try to survive survivors coming at you to kill you, and maybe when you kill them, they get like infinite spawns or something. And as a killer, you're trying to open the exit gate, but instead of gens, it's hooks that open the exit gate. Something like that would be really cool. KVK would be really cool, and survivors killing killers, I think would be a lot of fun. Imagine what you could do with that. Imagine if you had 2v8 survivors kill killers. Basically, have two killers sitting back to back, getting mobbed by 8 survivors, doing damage to them. trying to kill those survivors and trying to hook them to open the gates while they're being mobbed. I think it would make more like these two modes would be more action orientated. And then killer versus killer. Like my mind almost feels like it would be like Dead by Marvel Rivals, man. Like DBMV. But dude, just imagine you have like the trickster doing his doing his uh doing his projectile in the background as support, while you have the like characters that are more tanky, like Nemesis. Nemesis would be more tanky, and then maybe you could do different status ailments based off of what they're using. Like, I don't think if you get infected by the whip, it would be the same as what happens to survivors with KVK. You could depend on it. There could be different things you do, like hindered, stunning. You could debuff other killers, like their strength and stuff, because it wouldn't just be like you hit someone twice and they're out. Like you'd have to have an HP system. It's one of the reasons I think this would actually be a stretch for that to ever happen, because it would take a lot of time and resources to get that right, and I don't know if behavior is really committed to doing stuff like that. Oh my god, imagine a skull merchant in a KVK. Oh my god, Bubba, dude. Bubba would just run in and do massive damage while he's playing against, say, a trickster who's trying to avoid him and do like slow damage over time. Meanwhile, okay, you know how Nemesis Mori's a survivor? Imagine, you know how you kick Victor in the regular game? Imagine the Nemesis Victor stomp. See, some would be cool too. Like, imagine KVK when you have Deathslinger and Deathslinger reels in another killer. Oh, like imagine Deathslinger reeling in Trickster when you have like a tier 3 Myers that can't really get to Trickster very well until he gets reeled in. I think there would be a lot of interesting possibilities doing that. KVK would be fun. And then trying to kill killers as survivors would be absolutely a blast. Maybe you could do like damage to the killers when they pick you up using certain moves. It's almost like uh um a bigger version of DS, like DS's base kit, and you use it constantly to do HP damage. Imagine the pig head trap on a ghost face, and the ghost face has to take the head trap off while being harassed by a Wesker. I mean, and then he hinders them, and then it's slower for them to get the head trap off. I just love the idea of a KVK. It would be a nightmare to facilitate, an absolute nightmare. But I think that there would be a lot of merit to it. I think it would be worth it. Now, would it behavior? Would they invest in such a thing? Oh, hag traps would be cool, right? You put a hag trap in the background while someone like Trickster is trying to stay back and throw stuff, and then you spawn behind him and you like start doing damage. I think there is absolutely a lot of potential for KVK. Plague does damage over time when it pukes. You could have damage over time killers, right? Plague, maybe Clown could have bottles that do damage over time. Um, who else would be a damage over time kind of person? Maybe the drones could do damage over time. They're already talking about in regular mode making it where drones can become projectiles. Oh my god. Imagine the hillbilly in a KVK like running into a mob with like that kind of damage. Imagine the chainsaw battle between Bubba and Hillbilly. One could have like dashes, and maybe Bubba does more damage or is consistent on something. Like consistently doing damage versus this guy's just dashes. Uh, Legion, maybe it's damage over time instead of mending. Maybe mending is damage over time. I don't know. I like AoE too. Like the unknown could do area damage. Uh, Houndmaster, very similar to Deathslinger, could take characters like Huntress or Trickster or maybe even Knight and pull them closer into the combat where you have like a Bubba. So like imagine you have a Hellmaster and you have a Bubba on the same team. And on the other team you have you have a Huntress. Use the Hellmaster to have the dog pull in so the Bubba can do massive damage. But then meanwhile, if you have that um if you have the Huntress doing that, you when they get pulled in, maybe the hillbilly could dash in to try to do damage on the person doing that. Or you have a plague do damage over the Bubba. So over time, he's losing health while he's trying to do massive damage on the Huntress. I don't know. I think there's a lot of possibilities with that. I think this mode. I don't know. I don't think you'd have palettes or windows. I think it would be purely like combat based. It would like be DBD Smash Bros. Is what it would be like. And I think it would be. I like the way. Imagine the way the game is now, and then imagine if you tweak the mechanics a little bit to make it where it is um make it where it is like Marvel Rivals, where we're all trying to do damage against each other. Singularity would be really cool. You could like tell like you have a projectile and then you move behind him, and when you're overclocked, maybe you do more damage. And the other game mode, Survivors Kills Killer, I feel like that one would be really fun too because the Bizarro version of now the survivors are trying to kill the killer. I think survivor means and killer means would have a lot of fun with reversing the roles. Let's see other game mode ideas. I didn't see anything about prop hunt, so obviously I haven't exhausted all of the ideas for game modes. Would you guys play a game mode that was just DVD without perks? That sounds a little boring. Like it makes it more balanced. Like on paper, there's a reason why you would do that. It sounds more balanced. It sounds different, but doesn't sound fun. I think there's ways to make game modes that would be more fun. Yeah, perkless mode. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a lot of Reddit posts, man. Is this game worth buying? Well, do at your own risk. Do not enter dead inside. That's what someone should. Someone should answer that guy's question with a Walking Dead quote. And if anybody is watching and you want to put in chat a game mode idea, that would be cool. We could talk about that. That'd be really cool. You get chat talking about game mode ideas. Like feed off of chat. You never know. You could come up with something cool if you had several people in chat discussing that with the streamer. I think that would be cool. What else did I see? What was that? All of those are perk mechanics and blah 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 blah. What is this?